Welcome to episode 122 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. We are doing a live episode, so if you want to jump in and get in the comments, join the conversation, have anything to say, do it that way. And then if you are listening to this via audio afterwards, we're going to upload this on Friday to the audio-only platforms. You can jump into YouTube, comment on the video, or you can also go to our website, boomstick-tactical.com, and then scroll about halfway down the page there, and you'll see where you can leave a message for the podcast. Super easy, can do it straight from your phone. And we do have a voice message from somebody, and this is actually for Chris. So Chris, let me, if I could play it here. Oh, it's not going to let me play it live. Okay, cool.
Well, I listened to it.
All right.
And he wanted to know who my barber is.
Yep.
So I don't really have a barber. She's a stylist. She's been doing my hair since probably 2015.
Okay.
She does our whole family. So we go to her. I go to her every 3 weeks, get the same hairstyle every 3 weeks. And then if she can't do it, like if some weird, like she's either out of town or she gets sick and I need an emergency cut, then I go to Boulevard Barbers here in Spring Hill. And I go to Johnny Boy. So he's my backup barber.
Well, there you go.
So there we go.
Somebody thinks you got a good haircut. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Awesome.
Yep. So we got a couple comments already. And obviously the main topic are we safe with America, all propaganda, not real. We do have, I do have some comments on that as well, because everything can be taken out of context. So we'll bring that side up as well, because yeah, it's, you know, it's only half the story on some of the videos. You know, with social media, especially with the short form crap, you only get half the story.
Yeah, you gotta go dig a little bit.
Yeah, we got to dig, and I've been digging on this for a little while, so it's interesting. So I don't think we still have the whole story. So what is up? Not much. Getting ready to try some. Chris, what are we trying?
Penelope bourbon. It says it's toasted, and it's heavy toasted on the bottle. It's 100 proof, so and it's aged for about 4 years is what it says.
Yep, it'll actually have it on the back, the age, batch, and the volume, because each one's going to be different.
Yep.
So what they have like 4 or 5 different ones from Penelope. This is our first that we tried, and I wanted to go toasted because 1, it was on sale, and 2, we had the Elijah Craig toasted. Really love that.
Oh yeah.
We even tried the Basil Hayden subtle smoke. That was really good too. So figured it was on sale. Why not try it? So we'll see. The cool thing about this is basically it's like their regular bourbon, but to get it toasted after the 4 years is up, they actually put it in hand-charred barrels for an unknown amount of time to get that toasted. And they supposedly they have 3 different levels of toasted. They had, you know, low or light, whatever they call it, medium, and then heavy. I've only seen the heavy ones.
Yeah.
So this is what we have is heavy, and each one is obviously going to have a different profile to it.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that they say is, you know, every bottle might be different depending on how much it was toasted and the batch number.
I'm not getting toasted on there. I don't know.
So I know with Elijah Craig, we got a lot of, like, I anyway got a lot of chocolate notes.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of that.
A lot of vanilla caramel.
Yeah.
Like the traditional whiskey smells.
And, you know, it doesn't smell like 100 proof. Not really getting a whole lot of proof on that either.
Yeah.
But, so, I don't know.
I don't know. It's also a younger whiskey, too.
I think I'm getting some brown sugar. Getting some brown sugar in that.
Yeah, maybe.
So on the website, they say brown sugar, cinnamon, breakfast pastry.
Don't know about the pastry.
Yeah, I can definitely see the cinnamon.
Yeah, maybe hints of it.
It's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you can tell it's heavily toasted.
I would say it has a longer finish because it
coats it. Yeah.
the longer you sit it on your tongue, it kind of brings out that toastiness, which is cool. Because initially you get like the vanilla caramel initially, but then I think the proof kind of hits it.
I'm also getting like a chocolate in there too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe a slight hint of dried fruits.
Yeah, maybe. I get more like a chocolatey maple like flavor on there.
Yeah, so it's not like you get like a huge charred flavor with that toasted. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think it brings out more like Chris said, chocolatiness to it. I don't taste as much chocolate on this as we did with the Elijah Craig.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like it.
It's smooth.
It is.
We're 100 proof.
100 proof. Not really. I mean, my chest isn't hot. Usually you get that burn in the chest.
Like,
but I think we're getting too used to the higher proof stuff now. I'm not getting that at all. I mean, it tastes great.
Yeah. It's not bad for
MSRP on this is about $70, give or take.
Okay.
I got it on sale for like 50
that ain't bad.
or so. So I thought, I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
I think we also Old Forester. My 1910 is toasted too. I'd have to go back and look though.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more toasted.
Yeah, toasted or
Stuff
smoked
coming out. Yeah, which hey, I like it.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
I'll try it. So yeah, I mean this one. There's a whole bunch of different ones. We'll eventually try those too. But I'm like, I want to go with the toasted. Coming off of that Elijah Craig, I've gone through a couple bottles of those. Had a glass a couple nights ago. Stuff is so good. This, I don't like this quite as much. I like the Elijah Craig more.
Yeah,
But this is still good.
it is good, especially for a younger whiskey.
Yeah, that is the one thing. 4 year. We tend to like more 7-10 year.
Yeah,
But-
I've been on the 10-year kick a lot lately.
Of course, then the price goes up with that.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, so this was this came out in March of 24.
Nice.
So I haven't, like I said, haven't seen any of the other toasted ones.
Yeah.
I've only seen the heavy. If you guys have seen any of the others, let us know. I think I would prefer the heavier toasted
Yeah, I would think I would like it
because I
heavy.
think any lighter than this, it kind of takes away that flavor.
Yeah.
But we'll try it on the rocks here too, see what that comes up as. And yeah, so far, I like it.
Yeah.
So definitely something to try out. So, a lot been going on. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've been on the podcast, but Chris is in the process of buying and selling the house, so he's busy with that. And of course, back to school stuff.
Yep.
Oh, that's always fun, right?
Yeah, that, and I got thrown in flag football coaching, so
Well, there you go.
busy.
So you probably haven't been staying up on the Second Amendment style news lately, then, huh?
Not too much. I've heard things here and there, and I haven't had time to actually go and like research it and see what's true, what's not.
Right. Well, one thing that has recently come up is, Polymer 80?
Yes.
The company that makes the basically 80% lowers.
And then you finish them, yeah.
Yes. Well, after, a bunch of stuff, they've been sued a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
They've been sued by, that Every Town for gun safety. They've been sued by states and cities. It's actually been quite ridiculous. And then they had the whole thing with the ATF final rule in 2020 where they tried to redefine frames and receivers and stuff like that. That has gotten thrown out. But they were in limbo for a long time. And so, they brought it back. But with all these lawsuits that they've had, I think they've paid out at least $7.5 million in several lawsuits so far. There are still other lawsuits pending. They're getting sued because criminals are using
them. Yeah.
using them. It's not because, us law-abiding citizens are doing anything. It's because criminals are doing this. And what this has caused Polymer 80 to do is to basically go out of business.
Well, they'd have to.
Yeah, they've paid out so much in lawsuits that the website shut down. I tried to get on their website to see if maybe they said anything. Nope. The website's down. The phone's down. They posted something on X that, why they were doing this and basically said, with all the lawsuits and what we paid out, we just physically can't make this happen anymore. I think if you had orders, they're going to honor those orders. They're just a little backed up. So if you had something before they went out of business, it should be coming.
Wow.
But it's unfortunate. And the owner said they're going to shut down for now, but they're going to come back. They're just got to figure out how.
I mean, the only way that I could see them coming back is if they do full frame serialized. That's the only way I could see them bouncing back.
Yeah, because even if they change up the name, but
Yeah.
still do the same thing,
Yeah, these people will figure it out and come after them.
Yeah.
And do this exact same thing.
it's just going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, and you're starting to see a lot more of this is these anti-gun groups suing gun manufacturers, and I think we're going to start seeing more of
It's
this.
crazy. If it was me and they're going after that,
Yeah,
if something happened to the school and like let's say my kid gets shot and killed, I'm gonna go after those groups because now they're taking away firearms from law-abiding citizens.
yeah, that's the whole thing. It's not going to stop crime.
No.
Those criminals that use these things in crime, they're still going to find means to do
plus
it.
now everyone can get a 3D printer dirt cheap.
Yeah.
So and everything's online. We all know this.
Yep.
So it's crazy. We shouldn't be having to talk like that, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've looked into it for 3D printing, and the only thing that does scare me is because they want you to do a subscription to some of these websites, and you pay so much money, so they got your credit card information, your billing address, and all that. And I'm like, well, I'd love to do that, but I don't want to give you my information because then you can turn around and then I could have ATF on my door if they want to search and seize. And I was like, I'm not playing that game.
Yeah.
So
I've heard ATF has had to return some of the pistol braces that they took
good.
unlawfully. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but the owner said they're going to try to make a comeback. They can't say too much about anything because of obviously the people that are going after them suing them. So I tried to even their X profiles down too, because you could see where they posted and there was a link to their X channel, but that's been taken down. So unfortunately, can't find anything on them anymore. There's still some stuff online available through other parties, third parties and stuff like that, but I think that stuff's going to start dwindling down.
I'd be leery about buying stuff like that now if they're going after them, because then they can come after you.
Yes. And of course, every town for gun safety, of course, they have a Twitter account.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
They posted basically a victory of this. That's the wrong one. And basically just, oh, look, congratulations. We made them go out of business and calling them ghost guns and stuff like this. And basically, celebrating the fact. But I think we should sue them. Like, hey, the gun industry should sue every town.
I don't understand why we just don't start going after these. Like, I feel like that's un-American. Like going after gun manufacturers and stuff. That's like
we don't go
that's
after
part
car
of
manufacturers.
Yeah, like our Constitution's there for a reason.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter. Like you might not agree with it, get over it. You don't like it, go to a country where they don't have guns. That's to the point where I'm at.
So basically, the CEO came out and said that they had to shut down Polymer 80 because they were getting sued left and right, probably twice a month, and then they needed to stop the hemorrhaging because you can only pay out so much money. And then they also said that they've completely revisited how they participate in the market and warned that they'll be back in some way, shape, or form. The company's website is down. Its phone number has been disconnected, but he said they are going to revisit and try to come back in a different way.
I think the only way they can come back is full-fledged completed lowers with serialized numbers.
Yeah.
And just make it affordable at that point.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Scary.
So, yep. Let's see. Jesus is coming back soon. Until then, let's defend and make this country great again. Exactly.
Amen.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's some unfortunate news on the 2A side of things.
Yeah.
Is that business being shut down, which I don't know. Let me know if you guys, think it's fine for people to buy those and make their own guns. It's not, the Constitution doesn't say whether you can or can't.
Yeah.
So technically you can make your own weapons. And even the ATF has said, let's take that final rule that they came out with, throw that out since that is thrown out. But the ATF even comes, says you can make your own weapons. At some point, once it becomes a full actual gun, you do have to serialize it and stuff like that. But there's no law against making your own firearms.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. Like people aren't, oh, it's finished, I'm going to go serialize it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't.
well, I don't think a lot of people would, but
yeah, and unfortunately, that's how these criminals are getting these guns. Is they're doing that because it's easy and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put those together because it does come with the jig, or you could buy the jig and finish. And if you have a drill press or a buddy that does, I'm sure they're just using freaking drills and just I'm sure they look like shit. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, hey, to each their own, I guess. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it.
So unfortunately, there was another school shooting today
in Georgia.
Yeah, unfortunate. But to go along with the school shootings, Kelly Osbourne, we all know that her mom was on The View for a long time, so we can obviously gauge what side they go on. She came out recently saying that she's having a baby, or is having a baby, one of the two, but she is going to move out of the U.S., go back to the UK where they're originally from, because she's afraid of all the school shootings. But she's not moving to the UK until her kid becomes of age to go to school. That's when they're going to go. Does that make sense?
That's dumb. I think school shootings, like we've said in previous episodes, like, hey, you made them a gun-free zone, you made them a target. And you can thank Joe Biden for that, and he'll say, I've done it, if he can remember.
Right.
But you got to go, I think we need to get rid of these gun-free zones. Quit making these an easy target for people. Like, get rid of them all. Like,
schools have always been gun-free zones, though. I mean, when we were in school, there were always no gun signs there.
Yeah, but look at the high schools back. Like, when our parents went to school, they had shotguns in the back of their guns. You know?
Yeah. If you went to a rural town anyway.
Yeah. Well, even probably some of the bigger cities, you might have seen it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, wouldn't that deter you?
You know what? It's all social media.
Yeah, it is.
Social media came along, and guess what spiked too?
Yeah. Suicide rates, gun violence, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because back in the day, when you got bullied, you went home and you were fine. You didn't have to deal with it. But now
you got to deal
you're
with
bullied 24/7 online. And man,
I think there needs to be, like, we need to set, like, I know I'm going to set with my kids. Like, you only get this much time electronically after you get home, unless it's for schoolwork and schoolwork only. No Facebook. I don't even want them having Facebook, let alone Instagram and all the other stuff.
Right.
Like, Google, that's it. I'm going to put it on, like, strict lockdown inside the house somehow.
Yeah. But the fact that she's waiting until her kid becomes age, which is
just freaking go.
When does kindergarten start? What age?
Like 5, 6.
5 or 6. So she's going to be here for at least 5 or 6 years.
That's so dumb, though.
It's like, but then if she goes to UK, which she won't, she's all talk, trying to get this attention.
Well, that's how a lot of people are. Oh, if Trump gets elected, well, I'm leaving the country.
Yeah, they said that.
They all stayed.
Yeah, exactly. But I think she's just trying to get attention, and you know, she's not. That's not going to happen. But if it does, guess what? You're going to have to deal with in the UK. There's a lot of mass knifing out there, like
stabbings.
a lot of mass stabbings. There are still shootings out there, like, you know, there's a
just because it's a ban doesn't mean criminals are going to follow those rules.
Yeah,
It's
people
just
still
like
get
here.
shot in the UK, but now everybody's afraid of knives over there. So instead of sending your kid to school afraid of guns, they're going to be afraid of, you know, getting
A knife.
stabbed.
A kitchen
Which
knife.
you can get a knife anywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, they're probably trying to take those away. You probably need a permit to get a box knife out there.
Yeah, probably. Next thing will be sporks.
You got to take a training course on how to use this box cutter.
Sporks will be next.
Mm-hmm. You probably got to get fingerprinted for that crap too.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
The fact that, you know, that actor was surprised and just taken aback that you can order a knife on Amazon.
Get out
Seriously,
of here.
I order all my knives on Amazon. Come on.
There's a lot of places. I can walk into any store and get a knife.
Exactly.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
People amaze me sometimes.
So it's like, you know what? Go. Leave now. Like, we don't want you here. We'll help you pack.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah,
I have a shirt that says that.
The fact that she's going to wait, I doubt then she's ever going to.
No, she ain't.
Plus, her parents are here with all the
Like,
money.
plus, if you got that much money, why wouldn't you have a private tutor? If you're really worried and you got that much money, why wouldn't you have a private tutor come to your house, teach your kids?
I don't know.
I know I would if I had millions and millions of dollars like that. Like, why wouldn't you?
I think that they're probably going to send their kid to, you know, public school or at least private school because, let's be honest, most kids in that generation that's going to be coming up aren't going to know who Ozzy Osbourne is.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of times, like, oh, you know, you keep your kid, like, yeah, of course. But, you know, and parents that are, I don't know, how old is she? I guess she's older than us, though, right?
It's either older than us or about the same age.
Right. But, I mean, they probably don't have to, like, yeah, my dad's Ozzy Osbourne. Who's that? Who's Ozzy? Oh, yeah, that old classic rock stuff we heard.
Iron Man.
The guy that bit the head off a bat on stage.
Yeah.
That's your dad? Okay, cool. And that's it. Whereas if it was like, you know, say, you know,
Taylor
Taylor Swift's daughter, she's definitely not going to public school.
Oh, no.
Or private. She's probably getting homeschooled.
Travis Kelce's daughter.
Exactly. The one she got that little baby bump, right?
Oh,
No,
supposedly.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
There's a lot of talk.
that.
I doubt that. I'm sure she's like, no. Can't be having a baby right now.
But she could afford a private tutor and
For
all that.
sure.
So
She could probably afford to
probably-
buy the Chiefs.
yeah, probably.
Well, no, not probably. She can.
Oh, I don't know. I think the Chiefs are worth more than $1 billion now.
I don't know.
The Hunts are rich though too.
Right. But she's friends with the Hunts.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Oh no, it's funny watching like all the reports. Like, oh no, the Hunts are this way. They have supported Butker, and now Taylor's all mad at him, and it's like, oh my god,
Who cares? And then
get bent.
you know, obviously Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are lean more left.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Swifties. You see the Swifties for Trump thing now.
Yeah.
You know what? Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares?
Whatever. Vote.
That's your right.
Exactly.
Everyone has the right to vote. Now, whether I agree with that opinion,
like I'm not going to hate on Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce because they're vote for Joe Biden. I don't care.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like people end friendships based on their political beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
That is the dumbest thing ever.
Same thing in families. Like,
yeah,
I remember for a while, like the side of my family, like politics could not be brought up.
Yeah,
because they got heated. It's like, just don't talk about politics. But it's like,
we get heated every once in a while, but it's fun. Like half the time, it's just like, haha, I'm poking you type of thing.
But then you get booze involved, and then
that's when things go bad.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we digress a little bit there. So the main topic that I at least wanted to talk about that has been popping up, and I'm sure you guys have seen something on it, is this whole thing with the migrants, and specifically what's going on in Aurora, Colorado, because it was a sanctuary city. What could go wrong? Nothing, right? Well, and it's not just, outside of Denver or that area.
But they wanted no guns, right? Because people...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's where Columbine happened anyway, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Colorado is really...
strict on gun
been
control.
strict on guns. Not so much... I think they're more magazine restrictions. I believe they were more than that when there was a couple episodes ago we were talking about them and they were trying to like full semi-autos. Yeah, I don't know if that's gone through.
I don't know yet either.
But with as many people that hunt there and stuff, I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe you'd think that they legalized pot, everybody would be chiller out there, but apparently not.
Not when you're bringing people that aren't from the U.S. there and
yes,
they want to cause harm. So
this isn't just specific to Denver area. This also applies to New York, Chicago, all those other areas, cities in California that were like, oh, we welcome these.
Yeah, well, New York was one of them.
We're going to put you up in hotels, give you money, all this stuff.
We'll even allow you to buy a gun.
But guess what?
With no background check.
When that hotel stay runs out, they have to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So where are they going to go? So what's been popping up on the news lately, and we're going to kind of go into and talk about, I guess, a couple different sides, because some of this could go one way, like, oh my God, this is scary. Like we're being infiltrated by these gangs, but then it's like, or are we? Or is this just being blown up out of proportion?
Or is this a ploy?
I could see it going both ways. But here's kind of a gist of what we're going to be talking about.
The video shows a group of men walking up a stairwell at the edge of Lowry apartment complex in Aurora. All of them appear to be carrying rifles and handguns, and the video shot earlier this month. One of the men can be seen talking on a cell phone. They all then gather around a door and go in. Another video clip shows men forcing a door open. But what or who they were searching for, not clear.
Every day when we come home, we have to do this. Every time we go outside to take out the garbage, every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
The couple's car and many others here were riddled with bullets after a shootout at the complex earlier this month. The Romeros say the trouble started when a large number of migrants began moving in.
So just from that, seems like kind of a big, scary deal, right? Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what way I would fix it, but.
Right. But so there's been a couple of things between the mayor, the governor of Colorado, and even the police department. And now that this has gotten a lot more attention, things have kind of changed. But initially, people started posting those Ring doorbell videos of what was going on. And the governor and even the police department were like, yeah, this
isn't real. This
isn't going on. This isn't real. But then a Colorado Congress councilwoman went on Fox to basically sound an alarm, and she basically went on there saying that Denver's sanctuary city policies are being blamed for the migrant crisis piling up over into the suburbs and bringing it with a rise in violent crime and sex trafficking. The Venezuelan gang has been taking control of apartment complexes in the city. She said, we currently have an entire complex under gang control, complexes where staff have been beaten up, threatened, and some complexes where staff is no longer at the property. There's been stuff where they've been kicking out people that live there, threatening them, all this stuff. And response to that is the Colorado governor basically stepped in and was like, no, this is all false. She's wrong. She's imagining this. Like, this isn't happening. And even I think chief of police for Aurora, some female lady, was kind of like, yeah, there's, nothing going on.
Yeah.
That's out of norm, right? So that's been going on. But if you see some of those videos, it's kind of scary. And more have popped up. And
yeah, I've seen a couple where like they'll act like they're maintenance guys, like, oh, we're here to change out your filter. And they're like, she's like, well, you guys didn't give me notice. Well, yeah, we did. This is your notice. And they tried kicking in the door, but they got met with something else.
So she basically came out and said, hey, this is a big issue. The local government's trying to keep this under the wraps. Colorado governor came out and said, yeah, false, whatever. But then the actual mayor came out and was like, no, like
this is happening.
Yeah. The police department, in response to the councilwoman's news conference, and when I say police department, I mean like the actual police department. This isn't just, a couple of police officers. The department says, whoever their spokesperson is said, I'm not saying that there isn't gang member violence and that they don't live in our community. But what we've learned out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex. We are aware that components of the TDA are operating in Aurora, and APD has been increasing collective evidence to show the gang is connected to crimes in the area. Oh, that's cool. We'll just open a case and, collect evidence, and the ring footage isn't enough.
Don't steal anything under what, $1,000?
Right? You'll be fine. Or stay in these abandoned buildings. You'll be fine. So they kind of really downplayed that. And then, so the mayor, after hearing that, and then the governor's downplaying of the situation, came out and said, this is an organized criminal effort. Whether it's treated as a drug war, that remains to be seen. Somebody put them there and somebody funded it, whether it's the federal government or not. We're trying to find out who. These gangs apparently were attacked to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants. And so they're, in fact, have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation, and then they're also collecting rents. Apparently, they're kicking people out and collecting rents from other people.
Gets bent.
Yes.
That would not happen.
So then you got conflicting stories there, but then an actual Aurora police officer came out with a post on X, but they requested, obviously, to stay anonymous because there could be a lot of backlash there. But this police officer said, unfortunately, these leaders are not being truthful, nor are they acknowledging the problem as they know it to be. They are also trying to minimize the issue by implying the issue is confined to just the apartment complexes in the city. This could not be further from the truth. The Venezuelans are wreaking havoc throughout the entire city. Please help keep this story in the spotlight so the city of Aurora can no longer downplay this matter. The reality is citizens and our officers are not safe as long as the issue continues to be ignored. Which side do you believe there?
I'm probably going to go with the people that want to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of retaliation. Usually if they're willing to come out and say something, but they don't want to be, don't want to be known, there's probably an issue. Like,
well, not only backlash from, whatever violence is going on, but probably from their superiors.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey.
It's sad. Especially since it's there. But
yep.
I mean, we've all been saying it. Like, our borders are precious. We need to protect them. We shouldn't be letting people in and out, especially if we don't know what their background is. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy that a bunch of it is middle-aged men. We all are like, why is that happening? And you're starting to see,
yep.
Oh, they're an actual gang. They're trying to take over and get funding illegally.
Yeah, it's one of those things that obviously Joe Biden, and who's really in charge of the border is Kamala Harris.
Yep.
Brought this upon everybody because it's so easy to come across the border. You get more than what our homeless do. And
you get a lot more. You get a lot more rights too.
Initially, they're like, "Oh, it'll be fine. They'll become, go through the proper process." No, they're not.
I mean,
and it's not just this part of Colorado. I mean, this is in all those sanctuary cities.
Yep. I
You're
know
just-
New York was like welcoming them in, and now they want them out because
Yes.
they're causing a lot of homelessness. And
Well, you're starting to see a lot of immigrants. I mean, there's been several murders
Yep.
in those sanctuary cities where there was one high profile one. I forget the girl's name, but it ended up being a Venezuelan migrant that had connections to that gang. And then you had migrants, shooting police officers. And then it comes to find out that the migrants that they let in, yes, are part of the gang, but then they were arrested and let go and then sent somewhere else. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, you find out that
Deport
these
them.
guys are like bad shit. Instead of letting them go, freaking send them back.
yeah, deport them like you're supposed to.
But no, they don't. They're just, they're illegal. We're just going to let it go and just go somewhere else.
I'd love to have like an old school Gatling gun. So if they broke it in, just sitting right there.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I was looking at that. I'm like, man, if I lived in that apartment complex and what was it, 5 or 6 guys?
Yeah.
At least 5 or 6 guys that are,
Armed.
I would obviously grab, at that point, you need an AR-15 for sure. Like a pistol ain't going to do shit.
Yep.
So you need at least an AR-15. And then that's where, unfortunately in Colorado, if you have that magazine limit,
Yeah, you're screwed.
you're probably not going to have enough rounds.
You got to probably have 2 of them.
Yeah. Because even if you start shooting at, the guy kicking the door comes in and maybe you get 1 or 2 that are in the doorway, you don't know how many more are going to come in.
Yeah.
And in that mag change, you could be fucked.
At that point, you're going to be like trying to like shelter yourself in.
Yeah,
you're
and
going to have a lot of different things.
those guys are just going to start shooting through walls and doors so you could get hit by a bullet just coming in through a wall or something. And it's like, man, I don't know.
At
What
that point,
would
you
I
need
do in
to-
that situation? It's tough.
At that point, what you need to do is find the veterans inside that complex together.
Oh, there's none. So.
Yeah, probably not. They don't want to live in that type of state, but because at that point you're gonna need heavy backup.
Yeah. Oh, call the police.
The police 4 to 10 minute response, and they want to lie that this
Don't
isn't
shoot
happening.
at the criminals or try to call the police.
At least they don't have an air
Yeah,
horn.
Fucking right. You see how many guys were kicking? They
Yeah.
kicked in that door pretty quickly, and then obviously they had enough firepower to really. And then whether or not those guys were actually a part of that gang, we'll see, or they
Yeah.
could just be their own gangs, because say they're not part of that gang, but they're saying that they are just to intimidate those people. Be like, hey, we're part of the gang here. That could be true too. Like they
Yeah.
could just be thugs trying to look like they're part of that gang to
Get
intimidate
cred,
people.
yeah.
And
I don't know. At that point, like, if you're living in like an apartment like that, you need to be coming together as a community and take care of business.
but here's the problem. So just taken from that context, it's like there's a lot of stuff that can be done here. But then I dug into this a little bit more in that specific area.
Yeah.
So apparently that area of town where this complex is, that is a very Venezuelan heavy area. So a lot of the people and a lot of if you drive around the area, it's kind of Venezuelan. Like it's not just that apartment building. Like
Yeah.
that's where all these, and maybe not all of them are migrants. Some of them could be there legally, and it's just, here in Kansas City, if you go down the Southwest Boulevard, there's the Mexican part of town and stuff like that. It could be fine. And this is just one case or one apartment complex that's having some issues. But so already this is a kind of an immigrant Venezuelan, low cost of living part of town. Because I watched, of course, now with this coming out, you have YouTubers that are young and like, oh, we're going to go there and interview people and tour this place, which they did. I'm like, that's ballsy, first of all. And you just are doing that for the views.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple kids. One, probably the safest one, looked kind of Mexican and actually spoke Spanish. The other one was just some white kid. I'm like, what are you doing, stupid? You're just there for the views.
Yeah.
But the one guy that actually spoke Spanish was speaking to them because it seems like 90% of the people he talked to didn't speak English. And as he was going into this part of town, you can tell this is a not so nice area.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get a bigger picture of the area that he kind of showed. And it's like, okay, so this is a Venezuelan type community here.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of opening the picture a little bit more. And these specific apartment complexes are just shit. Like, you know, a lot of the times, in especially low income housing, you get the slumlords that just don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's sad.
And come to find out, rent is $1,400 there. And if you look at these apartment complexes just in the state that they are now, like,
No way in hell.
I wouldn't live there for free.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of the people that the one YouTuber that spoke Spanish I was watching, he interviewed a lot of people within the complex. 90% of them were Venezuelan. So, of course, what did they say? He's like, is this dangerous? Is this where this gang is? Is there a lot of violence here? Like,
They're going to deny it.
and of course, they all said no.
Yeah, they're going to deny it.
Yeah, so everybody that lived that he confronted within that, except for like one black guy that was in the basement, couldn't see. He's like, yeah, these Venezuelans are, you know, causing
Taking
a lot
over.
of trouble here. And so he's like, I haven't paid rent in a month, and I'm moving out of here just because of obviously the situation.
I mean, eventually you're going to have a complex full of gang members. If they
Or
if
wanna
it-
be gang members.
Or if they already aren't. Like, they probably were already taken over the complex and they're all gang members. And of course, they're going to say, no, it's not a problem. You know? Because they don't want people getting to know that they're a bad rap.
It's hard to tell because a lot of half the people that they interviewed were guys probably middle age or less.
Yeah.
Venezuelan, and I don't know. It's like maybe they're affiliated with this and don't want
That's
all
what-
that
see, that's what I
attention,
can think.
or are they scared that they're going to get retaliated against? So like, oh, I'm on camera. Yeah, no, everything's fine here, bro. We're good.
I bet it'd be a little bit of both. I guarantee it. I mean, if they're going in there and like they said, they don't know what they're searching for. They're taking over. That's what they're doing. They're trying to infiltrate and take over. And if they're infiltrating and taking over, that means they're starting to occupy those. But they
Yeah.
got to keep a certain amount of people there so they can still get an income.
Honestly,
There's a fine line.
that place is not worth the $1,400 a month
Yeah.
they were doing. But it's like
It's very cartel.
if you just look at that one footage and you're like, oh my god,
yeah.
this is terrible. We're being overtaken by this gang. But then if you look at the bigger picture, it's like, no, this is a Venezuelan part of town.
Community.
Yes, you probably obviously maybe having some of these gang members come over. Maybe they're taking over this complex because the management doesn't give a crap. And looking at some of the
I mean, eventually become an autonomous zone like they did up in Portland.
maybe because looking at this apartment complex, there were, I forgot how many buildings there were, but some of them weren't in as bad shape as some of the other ones, like the one that was on the video.
Yeah.
But then looking at it, I mean, a lot of the windows were broken out. There were bullet holes in windows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then some of the doors, you could tell had been kicked in because then there was like, they were kind of barricaded a little bit. It's like, what was going on there? And of course, this guy was going knocking on these doors. Nobody answered it, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to answer the door in that?
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that that could happen,
Yeah.
but we're also inviting it.
But it's like, it was funny because he started asking these people, hey, is this a dangerous place? Is the gang here?
No.
And then they say no. And then he's like, where are you from? And they're all like, and then like a lot of them were like, Venezuela. It's like,
Yeah.
all right. But then around there's some other houses around in that area. And he went over there, and the people that he did interview was like, yeah, this is becoming a big problem. This place is dangerous.
Yeah.
And of course, these people were not Venezuelan.
They're making it a compound. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. They're making it a compound. That's going to be their like area of operation.
But the owner of this place obviously doesn't care, because if you look
Dad
at the
already is
condition,
terrified for his life, because you got to think.
yeah. But if that's the situation, if I own this place and I saw this getting taken over, I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do, police department? Like, come here, like all that, like this shit is going down. What are you
they're
guys
denying
doing?
it's not even happening. So
I know. And there's other videos too that weren't on the ones that we have of cars just getting shot up at night. Like
that's crazy.
there was a drive-by. Somebody shot up a bunch of cars, and they were shooting at the building, and so there's a lot of shooting going on in this area. Are they with the ghost guns? Who knows? But Joe Biden, clearly, your gun control isn't working.
Gun control's not working, and
Yes.
your border protection's not helping.
Yeah, I mean, how are these illegals and
Yeah.
potential gang members? Probably a lot of them underage anyway. Have all these guns.
Well, it's crazy. Like I don't know. You would think eventually the community would get sick of it and just put up with it. But if it's your people, you're not going to do it. You're going to just try to keep it.
Yeah, it was anybody that was Venezuelan that they interviewed was said no, there's not a problem.
But
here.
everyone else was.
Everyone else that was
I guarantee
non-Venezuelan
they're trying
said
to,
yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to overtake.
Yeah, so it's like
they're targeting certain people. It looks like they're probably targeting the people that aren't Venezuelan and moving people in.
yeah, and it's like okay, is this actually happening to where they're collecting rent from people that are staying there?
I bet
Is it really this gang, or is it just people trying to say they're affiliated with this gang for that?
it doesn't
intimidation
matter
factor?
at that point. If I was in charge of that police department, that place would be done. I would demolish it to the ground. It'd be game over.
You
Fuck
can't demolish it because obviously somebody else owns that place, and then you still have people renting it for $1,400 a month. Which I would assume most people aren't paying rent to the owner now. They're either not paying rent or paying it to
somewhere. Yeah,
these gang
but at
members.
that point, I would just demolish it and start scratch.
Because if it's like okay, say you kick everybody out,
you got to exterminate the problem.
right? They're going to keep breaking back into that place because just kicking people out of there isn't going to stop people from going back in.
That whole complex and start from ground zero.
But then they're going to go somewhere else.
Well,
they're going to go to the next complex.
Yeah, but now they got to reorganize.
Or we could just send them all back.
That too.
Hey, show us your papers. No papers?
Yeah, that. But I'd also demolish it, so then they have to reorg, and then you can catch them quicker. It's all about strategy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff involved with just demolishing a building, though. You can't.
Yeah, it is, but
and the guy that owns the building, is like, hey.
As far as he knows, it got blown up by the gang.
Well,
No.
The
AC needs to be fixed. Okay,
but again, they're going to go somewhere else.
like,
Demolish that building.
But they're not going to be all organized in one little area now. You're making them spread out, and now you can get them individually and break them down. That's the way I look at it. Divide and conquer. That's what we do.
They're just going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, you divide and conquer. Take them out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
and then when you get them, don't release them back out to the wild. Put them right back in Venezuela.
We have open borders. It's the American dream.
Yeah, technically, you're not supposed to have open borders, and if it does happen, then us citizens under the Constitution are allowed to take care of business.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like in a lot of these sanctuary cities where there's a lot of immigrant crime, a lot tied to this Venezuelan gang. You can't defend yourself because Chicago, New York,
gun control cities.
Good luck carrying a gun. You have to have a permit, and God forbid you use your gun in actual self-defense.
But wait, what do they have in those videos? Oh, that's right, guns.
Mm-hmm. Oh, guess what? They didn't get those guns legally. Like the person that's going to use it in self-defense probably did.
Yeah.
Because the people you let over somehow got guns and is now wreaking havoc. And we obviously can't rely on the police department because you've heard two conflicting stories.
Yep.
I believe, obviously, the anonymous police officer there. And this is just come to light because of that one video or, a couple different videos from that same area. There's so much else going on in Chicago, New York, all those other... look at freaking California, man. Oh, that place is a shit show.
Uh-huh.
It's like... Yeah, Sanctuary City. Sounds great. Oh, wait a minute.
Nope.
We didn't check who's coming in.
No, they don't know who's coming in, what their intentions are.
Now what do? You can't kick him out. Well, good luck. Good luck
Them
now.
Yeah. They commit a crime, catch them, all right, bye. Back to your place.
Yeah,
I'll give you a first round ticket
to be
right back.
a single woman in some of those areas, I'd be pretty scared, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff going on with trafficking and stuff like that. And then, like I said, New York City, to get a gun permit, super hard. Same thing with Chicago. Obviously, California is a whole nother world over there.
Yep.
You can't defend yourself. So what are you going to do? If you live in New York City and those guys come up to you like that, trying to come to your apartment, one, the police are going to take forever to come.
So I got to start booby trapping.
And then even if you were to use a gun in self-defense and clearly it showed you were in danger and had no other choice, you're going to get in trouble because you had a gun illegally.
I mean, at that point, I'd be rigging stuff up. Electric door handles and stuff. They got hammers they're hitting it with. Every time they do, they get zapped.
Yeah, but then they're just going to start shooting through the freaking door and wall.
Yeah. get a bunch of metal plate put up against that
because
wall.
a lot of those windows this guy was showing had bullet holes through them.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. And that's, again, this is just
Well,
concentrated in this area.
Yeah, it's sad.
But is it being blown out of proportion?
I doubt it.
TBD, I don't know. And the whole thing with the Hells Angels, I don't know where that came from. Somebody, was popping up that, the Hells Angels are going to ride in and take care of this. First of all, if you know anything about motorcycle clubs,
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
no. If the gang did something to one of their members,
Maybe.
yes.
Yeah.
Just
But
to
it-
protect the general public, no.
No.
No. A gang, a motorcycle, an MC club is going to protect them and their own. They don't care about the citizens. Like, they don't care about us, obviously. It's they're not going to do it. That's so stupid. I don't know who the hell came up with
I
that.
don't know. I've saw a couple of videos like that. Venezuelan gang versus the Hells Angels. Like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Maybe if that gang tries to come up on their turf and take.
Yeah, I can see that. If they're going on their turf trying to
Yeah.
take over. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's going to be consequences.
Yeah, but they're not going to go in and rescue civilians.
Yeah.
Or the city.
I
Fuck
mean,
that.
you're better off with the National Guard at that point.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Like, whoever started that, it's like, you're an idiot.
They're just starting to get views. Come on, clickbait,
Yeah.
man. Clickbait.
Oh, this American gang,
Yeah.
which obviously, if you know anything about the Hells Angels, they're not they're not any better.
Yeah.
But
But it is what it is. Just
But-
clickbait.
yeah. So it's I don't know, if you just look at the context, it looks scary. It's like, oh my God, America's under attack. But if you look at the bigger picture and like, okay, this is a Venezuelan community,
Yeah. I mean, I've seen
know.
graphs of like
but
illegals in here, and we're at a record high right
the
now.
bigger picture is, this is a problem.
It is a problem, and the person that's allowing it is running for president. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to discuss that.
Oh, and
it's
also,
bad. We don't have a problem. She's being a chameleon. She's going to say what she needs to say.
and she said so many times that she is going to continue to try and ban guns and gun control and all this stuff. You think any of those Venezuelans are following those laws?
Yeah, like
Obviously
I'm
not.
so tired of the democratic socialism, communism. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's something we're against. Socialism doesn't work. Communism doesn't work. If you like that, go to Russia.
So do you feel safe in America? I guess is the ultimate question.
I feel safe where I'm at because I know what I have and what I can and can't do.
And we're not a sanctuary city.
Yeah. Come knock on my door. See
Yeah.
what happens.
You go 8 hours to the west, I ain't gonna feel so safe.
Yeah.
Go 8 hours to the northeast, I ain't gonna feel so safe. In this Midwest area, Kansas City.
Missouri. Yeah.
Now, if I go to St. Louis, do I feel safe? Hell no.
I don't like stopping there, but
No.
you
There,
guys- yeah.
St. Louis is another
I mean,
thing.
Kansas City's getting up there though too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Like downtown Kansas
Yeah,
City.
downtown.
And some of there's,
little suburbs of Kansas City,
yeah.
but
But if you go out to the suburbs, there's more stuff popping up,
yeah,
but not like that in Aurora.
yeah,
It's just more local shit.
yep. But we also have stand your ground laws and castle rules here too. So
Yeah.
come slamming, trying to break into my door, you're gonna get met.
It's
You better met peace with God because that's who you're gonna be beating.
yeah. It just sucks because, like I said, Colorado's got that magazine limit. And obviously with at least 6 people with guns, an 8-round, 10-round, even if it's a 10-round limit, man,
You better be a goddamn shot
you got to be a good shot
and quick.
You better hope because, depending on what ammo you're using and their adrenaline,
Yeah.
they may get shot and they don't feel that. You're going to.
Yeah, they'll come back.
And then, of course, all guns are pointed at you, and then you're just fucked. And
I mean, the only good thing.
I just shot 4 rounds. Now I'm left with 4.
Yeah, the only good thing is there's a lot of ring cameras, so you can see if it's self defense.
That doesn't matter though. Once you're dead, you're dead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, true, but if you're still alive and
But in some of the cities, like New York and stuff like that, and even like Chicago, even if you use that in self-defense, and there's evidence, like, look, he had nothing else to do, they're gonna look at you and be like, "What were you doing with that gun anyway? This gun wasn't registered. You didn't have a permit to carry." So they're gonna go after you for that.
the same thing the police do, same thing that our thing. Second Amendment doesn't say I have to have a permit.
But Exactly. But you're in that city, and that city
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
So if that was the case, right? This is a devil's advocate. I'm gonna pull on you now.
Okay.
So in that city, you're not allowed to have it. So you have a silencer in Kansas, but federally, you're not supposed to. What's the difference?
You can have a silencer federally.
Yeah, with a stamp. But
Right.
in Kansas, you don't technically have to have a stamp.
Right.
But if you get caught federally, you'll get in trouble.
If you get caught by a Fed, yes.
Yeah.
Like that one soldier guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Well, because because the attorney general, or whoever's going to prosecute the criminals, are also going to look at you and be like, "You broke our city or state, whatever."
Yeah, but
state or city
federally, under
laws.
the Constitution, I'm allowed.
But I think that's when the state, they're democratic cities. They're obviously going to punish you.
Yeah, but
You think
still,
they're going to look at the federal law and be like, "Oh,
at
well,
this point,
federally you were fine."
Constitution right here.
Yeah, but you think
I
they're
just
actually
had to
gonna do
take on
that?
a gang.
Do you think a New York judge is going to look at that and be like, "Oh
I
yeah, you were
guarantee-
justified"?
Be at the point, be judge. If this happened to your house, what would you do?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Because that's what my next thing would be. Like if this is happening at your house in your complex area, what would you do?
Yeah. Or the police will harm you before an illegal would. Possibly.
Yeah,
Depending on, I mean, yes, that could go either way. There's a lot of bad cops out there. Yes.
there's also good cops.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Yeah, I don't know. I would just those double standards come to bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
Better have a good lawyer. That's all I'm gonna say.
Have a, yeah, not a sponsorship or anything like that, but right to bear
Yep.
is something good to have if you are in a gun-free gun sanctuary state or somewhere that's not California, New York, or maybe that's the ones you
Portland,
need it.
Oregon.
Basically, if you own a gun and could potentially use it for self-defense, check out Right to Bear because they will have attorneys for you. Because if I were to go use it, I don't have it. I probably should, but if I were to use it in a home defense situation, what do you do?
Yeah.
What attorney you're going to call? Because you know the cops are going to try and
They're gonna use everything against you.
everything against you. And
At that point, you plead the fifth. I'm not answering any questions, so a lawyer gets here.
yes, but what lawyer are you going to call? You don't know. But if you're part of Right to Bear or even USC,
CCA.
yeah, there's several of them out there. They have lawyers, so you just call this one number, and they'll walk you through the process of what to and what not to say to the police.
Yep.
All this stuff. Some of them, like Right to Bear, also will give you insurance to replace your gun.
Yeah.
Which I mean, because most of the time, if it's used in a
Crime, you're not getting it back.
justified shooting or not, you're probably not getting it back.
Yep.
So definitely something to consider. The way things are looking now, it's like, man, probably going to start needing to carry more. I mean, like you said, we're safer here, but there's a lot more stuff coming up.
Yeah.
You just never know.
It's crazy. We shouldn't have to think about these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't know. So that's just kind of what we've heard on this whole Aurora thing. Kind of, yeah, it looks scary, but then you look at the bigger picture and it's kind of a Venezuelan community.
yeah. It's,
But then again, it's our government's fault. They allowed this to happen. And what are they doing about it? Oh, just trying to disarm us law abiding citizens.
oh, yeah. That's their whole goal. To have control and take control of you.
Yeah.
And that's what the Democrats like to do.
Exactly.
Whew.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, they didn't try to take out the one person that's trying to.
They've done a lot of that.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're the ones that wanted to keep slavery. They want you to have civil rights to be able to vote for women. Interesting.
Hey, did you see GoPro 13 came out?
No, I haven't.
Yes.
'Cause I've been too busy.
So yeah, I do a lot of stuff with motorcycle content over on Rusty Casey Moto. So if you like motorcycles, check that channel out. But obviously, I use GoPros over there, and I got a thing from this YouTube partner thing that I'm part of, and they're like, "Hey, pretty soon GoPro 13 is coming out. You get an X amount off." And I'm like, "What?"
They come out every year.
I know. I'm like, that's why I'm like the 12. I'm like thinking about upgrading. I'm like, gonna wait because obviously there's gonna be a 13 every year. And so they came out with a 13. It actually just got announced today. I knew about this a while ago, but they didn't say don't talk about it. But I wish they would have sent me one. That would be cooler. But there's 2 different versions. There's the GoPro Hero Black 13, and then they released like a smaller version. I think it's just called GoPro Hero.
Yeah.
It's basically without the front LCD screen, and you lose a bunch of other stuff. So I don't know. It's tempting, because what I like about the new ones now, though, the one thing I like about the new ones, because the mounts to you have to screw it in and all this stuff, and in order, because with the motovlog shooting in 4K, 45 minutes generally about what I'm going to get out of it. And then in order to change the battery on both cameras, you got to undo it, do the thing. I got to take it out of the media mod, take the battery out and all this stuff. Now they finally, after DJI had this brilliant idea, is let's use magnets.
Yeah.
So they finally started using the magnet system and basically just pop it off, and it's a lot easier to change out the battery.
Yeah.
Or your memory card. It's like,
Nice.
yeah, tempting. Especially with that $100 off that I can get. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I still want a 360 camera, but it's like the 4X came out. It's been out for a little while now. It's like, how long until they come out with a 5?
Yeah.
It's like, do I wait? Because, that's still...
Let's be honest, though. Your eyes cannot see anything past 4K.
I don't care about that. Like, 8K, whatever. I want a 360 camera. Because on a motorcycle,
that'd be nice.
One, for insurance purposes, is because there's a lot of incidents where people not watching. These people don't watch.
That dogs run out on you.
Exactly. that whole video I did almost hit that dog. So many people pulled out in front of me. I didn't include all of it in that video, but like a freaking U-Haul truck pulled out in front of me. I'm like, oh great. Like, and you just want to have that footage just in case. Which with GoPros you're limited. Yeah, it has super view, but it's limited to what's in front of you. And if you got the one on the handlebar, you really can't see back behind it. Like you see me, but I block the view. Whereas with the 360 camera, no matter where you put that, you got a 360 field of view.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Problem is it's $500.
Yeah. Well, also the crazy thing is watching people ride around with no helmet on and like flip flops and shorts. That's what's crazy to me.
Yes.
Like at least have a helmet. I mean,
you would think so.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, you got to read that comment. I can't see that.
It says police corruption is not a race issue or a political one. They have waged the war on the people, along with the judges and the DAs. We need to wake up and the people need to wake up to the ugly truth that we are turning into Nazi Germany by the day. Socialism.
That's what the Biden-Harris government. That's what what they get you.
They like socialism and communism. Take control of the people.
Exactly. I don't know. It obviously after that Trump shooting attempt, it looked like he's solid, and then the whole thing with
Kamala.
It's
because she's a chameleon. She likes to. She'll tell you what you want to hear. Per group, per whatever, and people are just gobbling it up. They're suckers.
And I don't care if I get. Obviously we're probably on a terrorist watch list anyway. Because of what we talk about, and obviously that Gadsden flag back there, that's a terrorist symbol, even though it represents freedom and all this stuff. But hey, I'm going to come out and say it. The Trump assassination, that was planned by that side. Like whether it was the CIA or it was the Clintons,
or the
Biden,
FBI.
I don't know. That was planned. The Secret Service did not fuck up that bad as it's trying to be drawn. Somebody tried to execute the president.
There was a plan put in place. And then when it failed, why the hell did he get COVID all of a sudden and drop out?
And guess what's not being talked about anymore? That shooting.
Yeah.
If that would have happened to Biden or Harris or anybody on the left, that'd be all over the news 24/7.
Yep. It's crazy.
But because it happened to Trump and they fucked up, crickets.
Yep.
Weird.
It's crazy, huh?
Exactly. Anyway, since we're already on that terrorist watch list, we're definitely on it now. But hey, we're just trying to speak the truth. Freedom of speech, right?
Baby. That's something I defended for.
First Amendment.
Yep.
That we support. And the Second Amendment. And the Fourth Amendment. There you go.
Second Amendment's the only one that I really care about.
Well, you got to care. If you like,
I like freedom of speech too, but
yeah. Because otherwise, we could obviously get sent to jail in other countries for what we're talking about.
I'm sure.
If you're in North Korea,
we wouldn't be in jail. We'd be shot and
if
killed.
we're in Russia and we're like, Putin sucks, we'd be fucking
dead.
We'd be dead.
We'd be dead. They'd come and find
This
us.
whiskey would somehow have poison in it,
Yeah.
or we're gonna have microwaves coming through our windows. Have you heard some of those stories?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would not want to be a CIA agent or whatever.
I thought about putting in for the FBI.
So did I, but I'm too old.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I legit looked at, because I was looking at new jobs because what's going on. There were positions for basically the KBI office, right?
Yeah.
35 is the cutoff. We're too old for that.
I bet I can get in because of my service. Because technically 35 is a cutoff for the military, and I could still go back in because of prior service.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can do it up to 42.
Because you got to pass all that stuff through Quantico.
Yeah.
And then by the time you pass all that, you're probably really like 40.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. No, like, the hours those guys work, I'm good. And the shit you got to deal with.
It'd be cool to work with some of the stuff they got, though.
It'd be kind of cool to work with the FBI.
Mess with, like, their drones
And know
and
some of that shit. But, yeah.
Be scary, too.
That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so if you guys are listening to the replay on audio only, or even we're watching the replay on YouTube, let us know what you think about anything we talked about down below in the comment section. Or like we said, like his person wanted to know about the haircut.
Yep.
Go to boomstick-tactical.com and leave us a voice message for the podcast. Any future video ideas or anything, let us know.
Yeah.
So I think with that, before we get on another watch list, we are gonna call it a day.
Yep.
Chris, what do you got to say?
Remember, this is a YouTube podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and tickle that bell. If you're listening on those other platforms, hit that download button. And with that, everybody, have a good one.